Welcome into Four Verts. My name is Harrison Graham. It's NFL roster cut down day. Lots of cuts happening around the league. Some trades that could go down as well. I want to make the primary focus of this video, though, around one player, and that is Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson was released by the New York Giants just a little bit ago. They're opting to go with some younger players at the wide receiver position, despite having what sounded like an okay camp in preseason. But it just got me thinking, is he done? Is Allen Robinson's career over like that? Because we are not that far removed from A-Rob Robinson, Allen Robinson, whatever you want to call him, of being, I don't know, a top 10 receiver at one point, for sure top 15. I always made the case back in 2019, 2020 that he was a top 10 receiver because he was putting up prolific numbers with the likes of Mitch Trubisky, Nick Foles, bad QB play in Chicago. He had a couple of monster years in Jacksonville, the team that drafted him back in 2014. I think his second year he had almost 1,500 yards with Blake Bortles slinging the rock around. And all of a sudden, he's just kind of done. It's just crazy how fast these things happen in the NFL. Allen Robinson just turned 31 years old, and he's already done. His career might be over. Like, how do these things happen? I'm just so fascinated by how quickly these things can turn in the National Football League. And what's curious to me is you kind of look at his rise and fall. He was drafted in 2014. From 2015 to 20, and this includes a year he only played in one game and had one catch, still had almost 5,500 yards and 37 touchdowns, basically in 5 seasons of work. So he averaged, 1,100 yards per year and 8 touchdowns, basically, over a 5-season stretch. Since then, he's never had more than 410 yards in a season, including in 2021, which was the year he turned down a rumored reported contract extension of over $80 million from the Bears and played on the franchise tag instead of just under $20 million. Only had 410 yards that year. Signs with the Rams, and you're thinking, okay, this guy's never been with an elite quarterback or offensive mind. Matt Stafford and Sean McVay by week 6 were like, he can't play. He can't play for us. So he got phased out of there quickly. They traded him to the Steelers last year for a 7th-round pick. And by the way, I think he signed a 3-year, $45 million deal with the Rams 2 years ago. And he barely played for Pittsburgh. I think he had 200 yards last year. Now, their QB situation was a mess. But still, he had his chance with the Rams to play opposite of Cooper Kupp, and he was ineffective. Could not get open. And I'm just fascinated by this with him in particular because he's never been a player predicated on speed. He's been a route-running tactician that can catch jump balls as well, separates with his route running, and all of a sudden he just can't play anymore? I mean, you're talking about his age 28, 29, and 30 season being a backup caliber receiver in the NFL, and now just turning 31 earlier this month, he's out of the league. Now, some team might sign him. He might be back on the Giants practice squad or something like that. But it's pretty clear his days of being even a starting receiver, forget a number 1 or a number 2 on a team, are done. 31's not old. And by the way, this has been the case since he was 28, 29. He literally went, guys, from a top 15 receiver to a non-factor overnight. And in a matter of 3 or 4 years, completely out of the league potentially. It boggles my mind how this has happened to this player. And by the way, turning down 80, 85 million bucks, whatever it was, because he wanted more and kind of understood it at the time. He was putting up top 10 numbers with bad QB play. That's a pretty big bag fumble by Allen Robinson. I mean, it really is. I mean, now he got, I think, $30 million guaranteed from the Rams, and he made $20 million on the franchise tag. So he still probably got about $50 million of what guarantees might have been 60 or 70. So the bag fumble may not be quite as big as it seems, but it's still pretty bad, man. It really, really is. And now at 31 years old, he might have to move on to something else in his life. So I'm surprised by it. Again, he's never been a player that thrived due to elite speed. He's been he's kind of like Keenan Allen, just get open with route running, and now he's a non-factor and could be out of the NFL. And again, the Giants guys, the Giants aren't very good. I get they drafted Malik Neighbors. They have Jalen Hyatt, a couple of young options, Wan'Dale Robinson, but there's no room for Allen Robinson on that roster. That's a little bit surprising to me, but hey, he could just be done in the NFL. All right, help us get to 2,000 subscribers here on 4Verts. We will continue to bring you original content. We'll react to news. We'll kind of cook up segments like this one. And hey, if you have any show ideas, drop them in the comments below. We're also doing a little bit of college football coverage. We're like 30 subs away from 2,000. I told you guys yesterday, once we cross 2,000, the next day we will do a 2-episode day here on 4Verts. So let's make it happen. I'm sure we could get 30 new subscribers today. Join the family. It's 100% free. All right, just wanted to hit one other news item that's out there. The Browns have named Dorian Thompson-Robinson their backup, or at least they've told him he's made the 53. And the report out of Cleveland is that they are shopping both Jameis Winston and Tyler Huntley as potential trade partners. And I'm a little surprised by this. I think Winston's probably a better player than DTR, but I think the Browns just want to keep a guy they drafted last year, so that part of it doesn't surprise me. But I think Jameis Winston is in that category of quarterback where I could see him getting another chance at some point, even if it's just as like a bridge starter. I mean, if Sam Darnold's getting another crack this year, surely Jameis Winston can at some point. I mean, people forget a couple of years ago, I think it was in 2021 or 22, he had the Saints kind of humming early in the year, and then he tore his ACL, and they end up trading for Derek Carr. The rest is history. He's their backup and then signs with Cleveland this offseason. But I do wonder if there's an opportunity for him to get traded to a team where he's not going to start right away, but if the QB struggles or if the starter gets hurt, maybe he plays and plays well and gets a chance at a starting job in 2025. I look at the Dolphins. Their backup QB situation right now is Skylar Thompson. I think Jameis would be a huge upgrade there. The Rams have Stetson Bennett and Jimmy Garoppolo, and Garoppolo suspended the first 2 games, and if you watch Bennett in the preseason, he was pretty bad. The Raiders, I mean, I know they have Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell. I'm not sure Jameis wouldn't be the best option there. He'd for sure be better than O'Connell. Baltimore, Josh Johnson's their backup right now. Now, they could opt to just bring back Tyler Huntley, who's also being considered in trades here, and they may just have to cut him, Cleveland, so maybe Baltimore would just opt to bring him back. Chargers are another team. Justin Herbert's had a foot issue in training camp. He's back now, but that's something to monitor. And Easton Stick is their backup. He's not very good. And if the Chargers are trying to compete this year, you would like a better option at backup quarterback. So this caught my attention that they're shopping him because they paid him decent money. I think they gave him like $8 million this year. So I'll be curious to see if he does get moved and what opportunity he gets if and when he does get traded. All right, if any major NFL news drops later today, we will be back with another episode. If not, we'll drop a show tomorrow. Let's hit 2,000 subscribers. Allen Robinson, kind of crazy that it could be over for him, but we'll keep an eye on that. My name is Harrison Graham. We'll see you guys soon.